Well, hello. I have been meaning to do this for a while. However, I've just been busy. So, sorry it's taken me so long to do this. I finalized it today. I've also been working on a kind of like an investments video, like return on investment video, talking about the minimum requirements for, like the minimum gear requirements and characters required for every single assault battle, what characters are like relic levels, what's best for R9, what's best for R8, kind of like and modding as well, kind of like a, not noob, but like for people who take the game a bit more casually but want to take it a bit more seriously, or just use it as a farming guide, etc. But anyway, that's coming up later. I'm away next week, so maybe in some of my free time I'll put that together. I'm away a lot, uni holidays, that's just how it is. But for now, wow, that's a minute gone already. For now, DJ, I'm going to be reviewing your account. You asked me a couple of weeks back and it's taken me a while, and sorry it's taken me so long, but hopefully this helps. So 9.7 mil GP, 6 GLs, which is pretty decent. From the looks of it, your farming, which I'll get to later, you're really close to Lord Vader, which is great. So then you'll have 7th, and then you're also really close to Leia. So by 10 and a bit mil GP, you'll have 8 of the soon-to-be 10 GLs, which is cool. Anyway, I will start with looking at your first order. So your slicker looks great. I didn't really have anything to say about it. Lots of great speed, great amount of offense. Like all of these mods look really, really good. I mean, obviously you could have a little bit more. Like it'd be nice if you got another speed hit. Like here, that is possibly a 29 speed mod. Just saying. Like, you know, these mods are looking pretty good. Just the fact you've got so much speed's really nice. Like 170 speed's really good. Crew. What am I looking at? Why do you have an offense set on him? Just give him health. Give him all health, mainly for this. Just give him as much health as you can. Otherwise, and he also doesn't need speed. Just give him like all health primaries here. Make these 2 health primaries and give him 2 more health sets, and he should be golden. I did notice Dark Rey's coming up soon, which is great. Get her up and running because she is really, really strong. She just makes Slicker that much better. They're a consistent layer counter. I'm pretty sure they can 2-man layer, but like a 5-man layer. But I'm not entirely sure if that's around at the moment. It might be Datacron specific. I'm not entirely sure, but I have seen footage of it happening. So yeah. Really, really worthwhile. I would say that's your next relic character. If you're not doing raid stuff, which I don't know actually what your go is with the raid stuff at the moment. Should have looked at that, but maybe I'll look at it a bit later. Hux's mods look good. Probably doesn't need the health set. But actually, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't need Tenacity Cross. Again, it's fine. Like, all of this is pretty good. I can't really... Like, Tenacity could be anything. So I guess Tenacity works. Yeah, like, this is pretty good modding on Hux. I mean, they're not 6 dot, but that's fine for now. It's not really going to change much. Fu wants to be faster than Hux. Significantly faster. I've talked about it before. Also, have Potency set instead of the Crit Chance set. And Potency here is good. Or Tenacity if you want. Like, realistically, Tenacity is good for resisting things like Speed Down in the Jabba fight, which is part of the reason why you want him to be that much faster than Hux. But realistically, it won't matter too much. Entirely up to you. Sith Trooper looks fine. I don't have his Zeta. I don't think it's super necessary, but it's entirely up to you. Yeah, speed isn't necessary on Sith Trooper. Like, you could have speed on him, but you realistically don't need to because his main thing is just assisting all the time. So, yeah. And offense sets I really like. I think this is a really good set. I really like this. I also really like what you've done here, with using an offense triangle. I would recommend a crit damage triangle, but it's not super it's like not super necessary. And what's his crit chance actually? I didn't check that. Yeah, about 50%. So yeah, offense works, right? I'd get him 6 dot mods because this goes up to like 8.5% offense. It basically doubles. Doesn't actually. Don't check my math on that because I know it's not right. But yeah, like it's worthwhile giving him 6 dot mods. It'll just give him that much more stuff. I'm gonna quickly look at Ufu's because Rey is next on the chopping block. Your Rey, I've talked about this in a couple of videos before. She does not want a speed set. You have a lot of health on her, which is really, really nice. You really want her to have high health, but you don't want her to have... Do you have all health? Okay. There's a couple ways you could go about this. How fast is she actually? Yeah. So that's a really solid speed stat. There's two... Theoretically, there's 3 ways you can mod Rey. One is all health sets with then offense primaries to then kind of balance it out. Because what's your offense like? Yeah, you need more offense. You need a lot more offense. So it's either all health with then offense primaries, or an offense set and a health set with all health. I mean, a mixture of health and offense primaries. I'd say more health than offense, but it depends. Most people have them either a mix or all of one. Entirely up to personal preference and whatever mods you have available. The third way is giving her a speed arrow. I don't think it's necessary, especially if you've got good mods, but if you don't have as great mods, like if you don't have good mods to replace the speed set with, then I'd keep a speed arrow. Like good speed mods, I mean, like good secondary speeds. But yeah, you've got a really good health stat, which is really nice to see. But yeah, you definitely need more offense. Definitely need more offense. Next one is Ben. Ben is modded excellent. Like, that's really good, really solid speed, really, really solid offense. I really like that you're using the offense set. Ben's looking great. You've got all the Omicrons. Thank Christ, you've got all the Omicrons. I mean, realistically, you don't need this one as much. It's not as important as... Oh, actually. They're all great. So, good stuff. Thank God I don't have to lecture you about that one. Resistance. You typically use JTR. What? Why? Typically, she wants all health sets. She also kind of wants her Zetas. This Zeta, if I remember rightly... yeah. Oh, no, she doesn't want a leader Zeta. Don't worry about that one. But this one gives her a chance to dispel debuffs on her when she gets inflicted with debuffs. So you don't need tenacity. Literally just mod all health. Doesn't need speed. You just want it to be tanky, realistically. Let's call it crit chance 100%. But yeah. Speed arrow and then all health primaries as well. Like, you've modded her really offensively, but you don't need to. Like, you don't need to. But yeah, her Zeta's pretty good if you're interested. There's other Zetas you should probably apply first that I'll talk about later, but for the most part, you're actually pretty good. I don't know how many Zetas you have saved up or whatnot. Resistance Finn looks pretty good. He could be a little bit faster. Nice to get him to 300 speed, but it's doesn't matter too much. 100 speed is really nice. sorry, I was reading the wrong part of my notes, and I had better off as a tank under JTR, but I was reading it as thinking it was for Finn. Health set is better than a tenacity set, but it shouldn't matter too much. Like, these are decent mods, and it'll do fine. It's not too bad. Resistance hero pose basically the same. Probably want an offense cross instead of potency, but it's up to you. I mean, especially because you're running a potency set. So yeah, I'd replace this with an offense cross, but again, it's up to you. Pretty decent speed. Want him a bit faster, but meh. Looking pretty good. Under Rey lead, they're fine for now. I didn't really look at C or like teams to go with C, but C looks pretty good. Like, really high health stat, which is nice. Really solid speed. Can't really go wrong there. So looking good on C. I don't really know much about C. I've not even thought about getting him because there's just better GLs around. But he's also a cheap GL and he does counter a lot of things. So, you know, not to say he's a terrible character because he's a really good character, but he's just not a great GL. JMK next. Did I talk about JML? I did. Cool. JMK doesn't really need a tenacity cross. Offense cross is definitely better, mainly because him and his team give so much tenacity up, right? Like, they basically always have tenacity up, so he doesn't need a tenacity cross. That's a bit excessive. Really good speed though. Solid offense. Could have a bit more just in the secondaries. But looking really good. For the most part, your JMK team's really good though. Like, your cat's really solid. Like, that's really good speed, crit damage, offense. Like, you're looking really good there. Same with General Kenobi. Like, looks like really good protection stat. So, and yeah, I'm really happy with that though. Looks excellent. Didn't really look. I don't know who else you use on the JMK team. I didn't take a good look. You don't have much Grand Arena data, so I didn't take a great look. But again, that's something I'll look at later. Next one. Holy shit! Your Jabba is so unbelievably fast. Yeah, good stuff. Like, modding looks really good here. Don't really need a tenacity cross. Like, a health cross would be better, but I mean, just with this speed, and it's got some secondary. Like, it's fine for now. It's not really going to be a big deal. Like, that's really good. Next one was Bosch that I looked at. Really quick, which is nice. Wants a lot more potency though. Like, you have no extra potency, so give a potency set instead of the crit chance. Give this a potency cross. This wants to be crit damage or offense. It's up to you, whatever you have, but probably a crit damage triangle. You want to give her as close to 200% potency as you can get. Also, give her this. This is just an Omega. It's not a Zeta. It's just an Omega. It's like 3 Omegas. It's really cheap, and it basically makes enemies more... if they're inflicted with thermal detonators, then they lose a bunch of tenacity or something. Like, it's really, really worthwhile. If you're struggling on Omegas, like, buy this. It's only like 800 of the Mark 1, and it's a really good deal. Really, really, really good deal. All right. Next, Kasen looks pretty good. Where is Hard Cartel? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Could probably put more relics into him, but it's up to you. Oh, actually, no, hang on. So I did say he's fine, and he's fine, but if you're looking to, like, min-max him a bit, you want all tenacity sets so that he can just resist basically just resist everything. Particularly buff immunity, because the main way that you get oh my god. The main way that you get around Jabba is by, I mean, there's a couple ways, but giving him buff immunity so he loses taunt, and then just like killing Bosch basically wins the fight. So you want all tenacity, or at least 2 tenacity sets. You also want a tenacity cross here. And then I would give protection primaries on everything else, including this. He doesn't need extra speed. But you've got the right idea, making him particularly tanky. Like, I'm sure this set works fine, but definitely more tenacity, because I'm pretty sure his tenacity is quite low. Yeah. You also might want his unique Zeta. Omega, I meant, but apparently you've got it. Oh, am I stupid? I could just be stupid, actually. Don't mind me. I made this today, and I thought you had his unique. You didn't have his unique Omega, but apparently you do, and I'm just blind. Skiff Lando wants a crit damage triangle, and more speed, but otherwise he's... Yeah, actually, no, not really. Like, he wants a crit damage triangle, but mainly he wants more speed. He wants to be really quick so that he can pass turns. Embo. I'd definitely use Embo as your 5th. I mean, you can use Boba if you want, but I definitely think Embo is better, especially because you have him at Relic 7 already. I think his Zeta, he wants his Zeta, but it's not super urgent. I'd probably do it before I give Jedi Training Rey her Zeta, but it's up to you. Otherwise, like, speed set's fine, but instead of potency, you probably want a health set, but it's up to you. But realistically, instead of this, you just want a crit damage and crit chance set. So, like, basically the set you've given to Jedi Training Rey right now. Otherwise, the primaries you've got on him are pretty good for the moment. Can't really complain there. He would want to be faster, though. Next on the chopping block, JM Luke, who you have a bit low protection-wise. I mean, you only have him at Relic 7, so that kind of makes sense. But you want to try and get him over 100,000 protection. He's got really good speed, though, so can't really complain there. But also, if you want to take any character up to R9 that's not a requirement for something else, like Leviathan or Profundity or whatever, JML. JML 100%. More than Leia. Any tank really wants Relic 9, because Relic 8 to Relic 9 gives so much survivability for tanks. Everything else is more of like a, oh, this is nice, but, you know, it's more of a privilege to have it rather than like a necessity. But yeah, modding's fine. If you wanted, you could replace this with a protection primary, and that would definitely up your protection, but it's up to you. He's already pretty quick, so you probably could if you had one that had a lot of, or even like 17 plus speed. It's up to you. Also, you should probably look at getting, for these two, getting protection % secondaries. But I mean, I'm kind of nitpicking at that point. Like, your JML looks pretty good. Jedi Knight Luke looks fine. When you're using him as under JML, you want him to be fast, which I don't have at the moment, so don't look at my account because that'll be really embarrassing for me. But yeah, he really wants more speed under Jedi Luke lead, but his damage is really good. His offense is really, really, really nice. Kind of wants a crit damage triangle, but not super necessary. Also, give him his Zeta. Give him his Zeta ASAP, because this Zeta just wins tier 3 of the Jedi Assault Battle Ground War, I think it is. put Luke as the leader. Once he gets a turn, basically you just win. But I'll talk about that in that video that I was saying that I'll make at some point later. Yeah. Your Jedi Luke looks pretty good. Jedi Revan looks nice. A lot of speed, which is really, really good. Wants an offense cross, but it's not like vital. He really has low offense here though. So I'd definitely give him an offense cross if you have a good one around. Hoda, instead of a crit chance, why would you put crit chance on him? He doesn't attack. Just give him a health set. But he's really quick, which is nice. Want him above 300 speed, but you want that with like most characters. But yeah, like if you get these to 6 dot, like he's gonna be pretty close to 300 speed. So would recommend. His Zetas aren't super necessary. I wouldn't worry about those too much. Grandmaster Yoda looks pretty good. Lots of speed, which is nice. Good amount of offense, which is good. Yeah, can't really complain there. You've done a good job owning him. Next one. Got through all the galactic legends. Let's look at Malgus quickly. Malgus is modded great. Like health primaries are really good. Health sets are really good. You've got a gazillion health on him. Like that's really nice. But I would definitely recommend. I mean, for these ones, I'd recommend going for health secondaries. But realistically, for these, you want them all to be 6 dot because it goes from just under 6% health to 16% health. So it almost triples, and that's really, really nice for Malgus, who wants to like slam an enemy for a gazillion damage based on his health. Could take him to R9 as well. He's also really solid at R9, but up to you. R9 is expensive. Revan's speed is incredible. Holy, great stuff here. He does want an offense cross instead of tenacity. You don't really get debuffed much on this team, so yeah, but holy, it could, yeah, does want a bit more offense, but so fast. Really good stuff here. Malik. You don't need speed on Malik. Like, you have a speed set, but you have barely any speed. Like, yeah. You want him to have either all health or all tenacity sets. Here, I'd say all health is better, unless you want to use him to solo occasionally, because Malik can solo certain teams. He can solo Queen Amidala. Like, it's not Queen, sorry, definitely not. Padme Amidala, like the OG Padme teams. Don't quote me on that previous statement. He cannot solo Queen Amidala. Don't try that. Cool animation. Anyway, he also wants all these primaries to be protection because he eats his protection and turns it into health, and this gives way more stats. So all tenacity or all health, probably all health, and then all protection primaries. But so yeah, that's definitely something to work on. Sad Basti, probably don't need that. Definitely wants more speed. Everything else doesn't really matter too much on Basti. Like, yeah, she does want a little bit of offense, but for the most part, she just wants to be really quick with really high potency. So I'd do speed and potency and just make her so much faster. So then she can just keep pumping out debuffs. You typically use Marauder, and I'd say that is the best way to do it. I don't actually know what this is. Actually, I think it's pretty good, if I remember rightly. But don't quote me on that. I'd check the... I'll just check it quickly. Marauder. It might be garbage and I'm just stupid. Yeah, okay, I'm just garbage. I'm garbage and it's garbage. Okay, don't worry about whatever I said. Oh, right, I did actually write about this. If I only I checked my notes. You do want his basic and special omegas. They only give damage, but they give 30% damage, and they're cheap, so would recommend doing that. But realistically, can't complain. He doesn't need a lot of speed because he gains turn meter and, doesn't need heaps of speed. Would make him faster if you can, but it's not necessary. There's other characters that need it a bit more. Quick look at your Wampa. Sets are fine. Just really want him a bit more tenacious. 100% is fine. Like it's pretty good, but more if you can. Yeah, good. More secondary tenacity if you can. But yeah, no, looking fine there. He definitely wants health sets as well, which you've already done for these three, which is great. Great. Next one is Traya. Here we go. I say this a lot, but she wants health instead of protection because bonus protection is based off of max health. Weird, but that's just how it works. Good speed. Do want her a bit faster, but meh. Not super useful. Like at this point, most people don't mod their trays to be super fast, especially because you're in Bronzium. I would get like as fast as you can, but not super necessary. But yeah, definitely health. Primaries. Nihilus is all over the place. He really wants a speed set and a health set. And then give him a bunch of speed, make a speed arrow, and then just health. Doesn't need tenacity because under Traya he dispels debuffs on himself anyway, so not an issue there. Definitely want him faster too. Really want him to be fast. Savage looks great. I have literally nothing to say about him. These mods are like all good. Health. Like all good things. Darth Talon kind of want a Zeta. Because her Zeta means when the leader is hit, the team gains 5% turn meter. It's a pretty useful Zeta, so I'd give her a Zeta if you have spares. Definitely wants to be faster though. Really wants to be faster. You offense set is fine. You could give her a speed set if you wanted, but offense should be okay. And then hang on, again, you want health for the exact same reasons as I've just been saying. Scion is also all over the place. Wants a speed set apparently, speed and health set. And then with all the same stuff. I don't actually know why he wants a speed set, but apparently that's what all the good people do, and I'll just do what the good people do. First thing, this is the number one Zeta that you need to apply first, is his leader Zeta, which gives them stacking offense whenever enemies gain buffs. It's what makes them be able to counter Queen Amidala, counter counter Rey in Territory Wars. It makes it such a stronger team. It's like the bread and butter of the team. Also, he wants an offense set. So instead of one of these defense sets and this health set, you just want him an offense set because he wants to be hitting hard. So I imagine you don't seem to use this team much, and like in your Green Arena, and I would say that's probably because it's underperforming. Like it's not, it doesn't have much damage, but you can change that really easily, and part of that is getting gas up. He also wants all protection, including the triangle. He wants all protection primaries so that he can stay up for longer. And these guys can get some damage out. Fives want some defense mods instead of offense. Like, genuinely, you could probably swap this offense set onto gas. Like, yeah. Actually, Yeah, literally, you could just swap it straight on. But that's up to you what mods you put on who. But yeah, he wants defense, and he also wants a lot more speed because of his sacrifice here. So then he can give all his speed away and make Rex take a gazillion turns, and then just like nuke everyone with their early advantage. Rex looks okay, but he wants to be... Actually, he's pretty fast, but he does want health primaries instead of the protection and the tenacity stuff, and health mods here instead of tenacity. But it's up to you. It's not... It shouldn't matter too much under gas, but if you have mods to throw around, then yeah, give him a health set. Echo wants more speed, a lot more speed. Otherwise, it's fine. Could do with a crit damage triangle, but offense will work. Arc Trooper looks fine. Again, wants more speed, but it's up to you. Offense and offense and offense is good. Their Zetas aren't super necessary from what I've looked at, either of these. Apply them if you want, but they're not super necessary. Just, you need Gas's Zeta. You need his lead Zeta. You need it. Quickly look at Starkiller as well. Emperor Palpatine for the Starkiller lineup needs his Zeta. Needs it. Wait, hang on. Maybe I was stupid. Hang on. I thought his Zeta gave a bunch of turn meter. I may be a little bit dumb. Hang on. I didn't have a good look at him because I thought... Oh, okay, no, he does really want his Zeta, though. Whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, Empire and Sith allies gain 5% turn meter. So this can actually make Emperor Palpatine take a lot of turns really quickly. So I would recommend it. Again, if you have some to throw around. But at the same time, if you're close to unlocking Malgus from Proving Grounds, I'd work on a Seer team instead and just not bother, because Seer Malgus Starkiller is much better than the original Emperor Palpatine Starkiller team. Otherwise, instead of a defense set, you want a potency set, but I mean, if you're using this to kill Rey, it probably doesn't matter too much, because defense means he's more likely to survive Whirlwind. So it's up to you, but I doubt you're using this to counter Reys at the moment. So, but otherwise his speed's looking pretty good, so can't complain there. Here's Starkiller. You need his Zetas, please. Both of them are excellent. Just like give him his Zetas. Not as important as Gas's right now, but that's mainly because Gas just is one Zeta away from being a great team, whereas this is like a couple. He also wants crit damage triangle and an offense cross, but offense triangle's fine. Potency's not very important though, because like, yes, this gives out a couple of debuffs, but this is not a debuff focused character. Mara Jade, you don't have any Zetas on her, do you? No. Could do with this. No, this Zeta, because it gives Palpatine a bunch of extra turn meter, so that helps with turn meter loops. Otherwise, the set's pretty good. I'm pretty sure she's a bit slow though. She can easily get over 300 speed, so I'd definitely recommend that. And she also wants a crit damage triangle, but up to you. Survivability's fine on her, but I would recommend some damage. Almost there. 2 more, well, technically 3, but one of them is just Tuskens, and all I'm going to say is, like, mod your Tuskens. Like, and this Omicron is so good in 3v3. It's so strong. So I would definitely recommend modding up this team, giving them their Zetas, making them a viable team, because they're really good on both offense and defense. They counter some pretty solid teams, like the one I'm about to talk about, Commander Luke Skywalker, CLS. First thing, instead of the speed set, wants an offense set. Speed is really solid though, like really good. but his offense is a bit low. So I definitely do a his speed isn't as important because he counterattacks a lot, and also him and his team gain a bunch of turn meter and remove a bunch of turn meter from the enemy. So it is almost as if he's actually a lot faster than he is. So speed isn't as important. Also wants a tenacity set instead of this. Basically, yeah, revamp his mods. He wants a tenacity set and an offense set. But it's, I mean, you can keep this if you want, but I definitely recommend an offense set and a tenacity set. Han. He wants a crit damage and crit chance set, but realistically, you don't have to give him a crit chance set because most of the time he can naturally just get to the 100% threshold so that you get Deadeye. But I would recommend the crit chance set. Crit chance, crit damage, that's pretty good. Otherwise, it's not bad. Good speed. Can't really complain with your Han. He's actually pretty good. Aside from having a crit damage set. God, my phone's blowing up. 3PO looks pretty good. Speed is great. Could do with a potency cross though instead of defense. Like potency primary, I mean. Chewie, this is fine. Typically, he wants all tenacity, all tenacity sets, so that he's resisting debuffs, so that your team gets turn meter from one of these. I don't remember exactly. It might be binds all things. But it grants your team a bunch of turn meter, so I would recommend that. Give me 2 seconds to answer my phone quickly. I'm back. So, yeah, tenacity set. What else have I written? The primaries look pretty good. Speed, crit damage, offense, health. Like, those are fine. Could be faster, but, like, it's not super important with Chewbacca because he's assisting all the time. 3PO and Chewie mods look great, but instead of this crit chance set, he could do with a tenacity set. He's a bit slow too, but it's up to you. Tenacity for the same reason I was talking about before, that they want to resist stuff. Maul wants to be faster. I'm just going to talk about the Maul team quickly and then move on to ships, and then GAC, and then farms, which shouldn't take too much longer. I think I've been talking for way longer than I intended, but I haven't done this in a while and I've just been yapping. I don't know why you've given him all this protection, because he doesn't need it. He really wants to be faster, a lot faster, and he wants offense primaries here. Yeah, speed's fine there, but definitely offense primaries here. Gar Saxon wants his Omegas. Doesn't need his Zeta, which I think is on his leader. But yeah, definitely wants his Zetas. Set looks pretty good. Actually, no, you could probably use, instead of speed, you use offense, because he assists all the time. And he assists with ISC. So, yeah, probably want offense instead of speed. You want him to have a lot of secondary speed, but yeah, offense is definitely more important there. ISC looks good. This is fine. Wants more speed and wants his Omegas, though. I think these are all Omegas and they're cheap. So if you have Omegas, I'd apply them to those. Canderous with the crit damage set. I actually kind of like it, but I think offense is technically better because then you don't have to rely on critting, and it's only 50% crit chance, but it's up to you. Crit chance is probably fine here. And Django looks fine too. I'm not even going to bother clicking on him. Right, let's quickly talk about your ships. First of all, your Executor, which is 6 stars. 7 stars, great. I'm skitzing out, apparently. Pilots could be better modded from what I looked at. They like having 6-dot mods. Gives your ships a lot more speed. What's your P1 speed like, actually? Kind of slow. You want at least 170. Which, I mean, I think for the matchups you're looking for, you want it to be faster. Technically, if it's slower, it means it beats Profundity more when Profundity's on offense. So, like, I find it harder to beat punishing ones that are slow when I'm using Profundity on offense. But it doesn't really matter because it's like a 50-50. I did a bunch of Profundity versus Executor, and I recorded them all, like recorded the wins and losses, and it was about a 50-50 chance of winning or losing. So up to you, but 6-dot mods for all of them would make them faster and better stats. Negotiator fleet looks great. I'm not even going to select it. Like you know what I am, just briefly, to be like, oh my god, these all look great. These are really good. Negotiator fleet looks excellent. Well done. It's a really strong one. Finalizer fleet looks solid too, and Separatist could just star up Hyena Bomber, but otherwise looking pretty fine. I'm not really going to look at the others because the others are meh. Like your Radis isn't, Radis is a bit behind. All right. I'm just gonna go here, and I'll just talk about your Grand Arena quickly. You know what? You can look at my notes. This is what I'd recommend for. This is what my notes look like, by the way. Next is Legendary Hound, so keep that in mind. Legendary, if you see this. Anyway, I'd put these teams on defense. Rey is much better defensively than offensively. Doesn't really counter much offensively. I mean, counters like most teams, so that's because she's a GL. Jabba is better defensively than offensively, but he works offensively too if you're like needing offense, but you don't. That's the thing, especially because you're in Bronzium, right? Traya on defense is great. Malgus on defense is great. So do both of those. Like, if I came up against this, I'd just lose. I would just straight up lose. Like, I can't counter. So yeah, keep JMK Cat. Up to you, but like, I'd start scouting your opponents and seeing if they have the Slicker Dark Ray Cron, because if they do, then you want to keep JMK Cat for offense. But if they don't, this defense is really hard to beat unless someone brings like a gazillion GLs, which some people might, but again, I think this gives you a really good fighting chance, because then on offense you've got JML, which counters a lot. I mean, it also depends how many GLs they set on defense, but you've got Slicker, you've got JML, you've got Gas, you've got C, you've got Starkiller once you have it set up, and that counters at least 3. Like, these counter at least 3 GLs. This counters at least 3 GLs, which most people in Bronzium won't have more than 3 GLs on defense. CLS and Maul are just really good at taking out other teams. Gas is really good at taking out most things. Oopsies. Any of these, I'd say a flex. You don't have to put them where I've just ranked these here. You don't have to put them there. But Tuskens can be used on offense to counter Tuskens in 3v3, definitely go on defense if you have the Omicron. But in 5v5, Tuskens are up to you, because they can counter a lot of anything turn meter based, including Starkiller, which is really nice. Starkiller under Emperor Palpatine lead. JMK, mainly for this reason. Also, he just counters, like, he kills a lot of GLs. It's kind of good. Maul, I've seen Maul beat layers. So, like, but at the same time, Maul's really good on defense, and a lot of people will, like, throw something silly at Maul and be like, nah, it's a Maul, it'll be fine. And then Maul will just blow them up, and you'll go, oh, well, there's a free drop. Also, Traya's counters most things, but I think Traya's better on defense, because Traya typically needs a GL to beat it. Executor should go on defense, mainly because Negotiator on offense is real, like, can beat most things, and Executor on defense is really hard to beat. Like, I would say I have an account that can consistently beat Executor because of my Profundity, but I think I've only beaten one Executor with Profundity in Grand Arena. Like, I just get the most awful RNG every single time, and it sucks. And yeah, once you get into Chromium, put Malevolence on defense. It's an annoying defensive team. I can't really say much more than that. Farms. I'll pull that up on here. Here we go. So, for the most part, I've got it in my notes here. I think you're just waiting on Levi now for the event to come back around, which is cool. So, once you get that, just chuck it on defense because it is going to get so many holds. And then you can put Executor on offense if you want, or you could put both on defense, and you're just gonna like never lose. Like, this is in Chromium, obviously, but yeah, Leviathan on defense, and you'll just win like most of the time. Also, you're super close to Lord Vader. Get Lord Vader. Why not? You do need to work on his clones though, so which is, I mean, his clones open up raid teams, so that's kind of worthwhile. But yeah, Lord Vader's really good with his clones. You're also really close to Leia in terms of like Chirotech. You need a fair bit of this, but no, not really. And yeah, I only need 200 Chirotech and a bunch of Gear 12 pieces. And I'd say Leia is better than Lord Vader. Arguably, Lord Vader's better at the moment because of the raid, but it's entirely up to your preference. I think Leia's better, personally, but at the same time, raid points is also kind of nice. Anyway, that's all I had to talk about today. I'm not going to go back through it all because you have 9.7 mil GP and you have a lot of teams to talk about. But I'm going to put the timestamps in for each thing that I kind of talk about. Maybe I'll do each individual team that I talk about. Slicker, Rey, C, JMK, Jabba, JML, Malgus, Wampa, Traya, Gas, Starkiller, Maul, and CLS. And then I'll just keep ships as one and then your GAC as one. Anyway, I hope this helps, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next one. Peace.